What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I'll be checking the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. Now this game was originally released for Xbox 360 and PC, and today I'll be checking it out on Xbox Series X. Now the great thing about this game on Series consoles, I think on Xbox One X as well, is that not only it has 4K resolution, so that would be on Xbox One X as well, but on Series consoles it got FPS boost as well. So this game actually runs at 4K or close to 4K and 60 frames per second. So without any further ado, let's just check the game out, how it actually performs and how it looks like, right? I mean, obviously you can see straight away that this is a Xbox 360 game. You know, the graphics, textures and stuff, it's Xbox 360 level of quality, but it's nice to have that clarity in terms of graphics resolutions, because everything just looks a little bit nicer, right? And you know, at the end of the day, resolution alone won't change much in terms how the game looks, but it does make the game to look a little bit better than, I mean, what original game is running on Xbox 360 in like what 720p, right? So you know, it would be a blurry mess on top of the low quality textures and that kind of stuff, right? I mean, they were high quality textures back in the day, but they are not anymore. On PC you can actually play with some mods, improving the textures, geometry and that kind of stuff. So as always in Elder Scrolls game, you can actually explore the world and that kind of stuff. So another thing which is great over here is the fact that it's running at 60 frames per second, and I played a little bit of that game, and like we've got these open areas over here and there's not much of a frame rate issues, right? I mean, for the most part this game, actually I killed those guys before. Oh, looks like somebody is sunbathing. No, I'm just joking. But anyway, when it comes to performance, the game is solid 60 frames per second, no joke. And I like the water. I mean, you know, to be honest with you, water, even like for today's standards, it looks really good. Which is interesting, because sometimes you get games where the water is like, seems flat, but this one is very reflective and everything, so kudos. And also, obviously this is a typical Elder Scroll game. You can use all kinds of weapons. I've got a hammer over here. You can use you know, magic, so I've got these fireballs over here. Obviously there are some defensive spells as well, so you know, there's, you know, you can pick and choose, I guess. Where was the button for the no. Oh, there it is. So there we go, you can fire damage, so there's flash bolt, that's another one. Let's equip it. Did that change anything? Oh, there it is, yeah. Oh, that's health restoration, okay. Wrong button. Anyway, let's just get these flares back. Starlight. There we go. So, I mean, you know, the great thing about this game, and you know, sure, it's an old game and it doesn't really look that impressive anymore, but at least if you still want to play this game, at least it's sharp, so it does increase the level of fidelity a little bit, and also, you know, it's running at 60 frames per second, which is a great thing. Well, for the most part, like in pretty much in all games. Look at the level of details. You've got these, you know, trees here and there, but like when it comes to the textures of these, you know, hills and that kind of stuff, it shows its age, I would say, right? So, you know, it's not the most impressive game anymore. But to be honest with you, like up close, like over here, if I'm not really looking far in the distance, I mean, there's a little bit of foliage here, some flowers over there, some bushes, stones, trees and stuff. The game actually looks pretty decent, especially in 4K and stuff, right? So the story is great, music is fantastic. The music did not get old at all. So yeah. Obviously, you can play in FPS boost. Now, animation is kind of looks a bit weird, like floaty, if you know what I mean. It looks like it looks as if the main protagonist would float in the air. But hey, you know, this game was released in like 2006, I want to say, so like 15 years ago. So yeah. Where am I? Let's try to get into the city and look around. You know, some of the textures actually look still decent, like this brickwork, right? So it's not like all textures look bad, just some of them. Like, it's not too bad over here. The great thing, obviously, on Xbox Series X is the loading speeds are just so much faster.
What is it, citizen?
I remember playing this game for the first time on Xbox 360, and that was actually one of the flagships, because back then it was exclusive to Xbox. I'm not sure if that game ever came out to play, you know, for PlayStation console. You know, the game looked fantastic back then. It was one of the most impressive games back then, and I must say that in 4K and, you know, nice, it still holds up pretty well. I mean, it kind of makes me want to play this game again a little bit more. So who knows, I might actually play it even more, and especially on Xbox Series S and X with 60 frames per second. Because I remember, I think on Xbox One, this game was, for Xbox One X was 30 frames per second. 4K, but 30 frames per second. You know, so you still got these nice places. Oh, some mushrooms. Yeah, I'm not sure if they are healthy, but... So I would say that this game actually still holds up pretty well.
Greetings, Imperial brother.
Greetings. What's going on in the Empire? Imperial. Oh, it's a graveyard, okay. You know, this game is not as impressive as Skyrim, because it's, you know, funny as it may sound, because Skyrim is an Xbox 360 game as well. But Skyrim was much improved, and also, I guess, they released the special edition, so kind of a refresh, a remake, well, not remake, remaster of Skyrim. So they improved resolution and textures and that kind of stuff. So obviously Skyrim looks much better and stuff. And it's interesting that they managed to release two Elder Scrolls game in one generation back then. Xbox 360, like both Oblivion and Skyrim were released on Xbox 360. Obviously at the you know, one was at the very beginning of the generation, the other one was released at tail of the generation, but still same generation. And last generation we went without any Elder Scroll game, so that's well, except Skyrim releases, because they kept releasing Skyrim and stuff, right? So guys, that's the game for you. Haven't really shown you the fight and that kind of stuff, but you've seen that, you know, you can use the hammers, swords, and that kind of stuff. You can use magic. Let's try set somebody on fire.
By the gods, there's a cycle.
Uh-oh, I got in trouble. I shouldn't have done it. Sorry, no, that was not intentional. Okay, so maybe I will show you some.
Well, what do we have? Caught in the act and cold.
Resist arrest.
Then pay with
You know what? I may not be the highest skill to beat them, so I'll probably die. Now that wasn't a good idea. I should have gone. Okay, bye. Okay, before I die. So that's a wrap, as some people would say. Yeah, guys. So anyway, don't pick up a fight in the actual, you know, castle and stuff, especially when you don't have a level high enough. But anyway, that's the game. That's the way it looks, and let's just load it again. No, first, because why not? I don't want you to see me dying, you know. So listen, you know, the game holds up pretty okay. Obviously the textures, and you know, I think the biggest graphics kind of limitation of this game is the level of details in the open world game, in the open areas. But hey, it's an Xbox 360 game, early Xbox 360 game. That's why Skyrim was so much more impressive, because it offered way more details and, you know, better graphics, right? And same generation, but it just goes to show how game development kind of improves towards the end of the generation, and not necessarily the game development per se, but developers figure out ways to, you know, to improve game visuals and that kind of stuff. They just take full advantage of these consoles and stuff. Obviously on PC, that game, you know what, I played it on PC, it looks similar, to be honest with you. There's not really much of a difference, so we'll see how it goes. So guys, that's the video. Thanks a lot for tuning in, thanks for support, really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.